How's it going, everybody? It's the Joning Level Foxy. It's my channel where I talk about anime, video games, cartoons, most notably hedgehogs and mutant turtles. And today, if you read this out of the video, you know what I'm going to be talking about today, and that's going to be about your boy Sonic the Hedgehog. So, today I wanted to talk about the problematic things. If you probably read this out, you know what this is going to be about, sort of. But I wanted to talk about some of the problematic things that people got with Sonic Prime and with the IDW Sonic. So these aren't really my gripes and stuff. I probably didn't make that clear in the title and stuff. I haven't really titled it yet because I'm still, recording. But whatever I'll title it, you'll know what I mean. But anyways, I wanted to talk about like some of the issues and some of the problems that people got with Sonic Prime and IDW and stuff. Which I'm not saying that people are obligated. They're supposed to be liking Prime or they're supposed to be grateful that we have the IDW comics. I'm not saying all that. Or whatever. I mean, if you don't like the comics and stuff, because some people might find it dull and stuff, and might find like some of the other stuff like Archie comics and stuff to be more interesting. That's cool too. Or Sonic Prime, they don't think it's like really the strongest type of show. For me, Sonic Prime is alright so far, but I just wish that they would do a lot more and stuff than just, kind of like, in a way, besides like recycle stuff. But, season 3 is coming out, and that's already looking like Sonic Forces, but I'll talk about that later. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about some of the problematic things. So, people have been a little skeptical on like Sonic's characterization in the movies, the comics, and the new TV show. So people think that like the movie and Prime Sonic can be a little annoying and childish, which is a turnoff from his actual character from the games. And some people view IDW Sonic as like morally superior than everyone else around him. I can understand like movie and Sonic and Prime Sonic kind of getting some pushback, but for the movie Sonic, it's a bit of a justified since he kind of grew up by himself and is a younger version of himself, like around like 13 to 14 years old. And he also tends to like fall back on like stuff like humor and distractions to kind of avoid certain or sensitive topics and stuff like that. But he does show a lot of like growth between movies. Prime Sonic, however, gets a lot of hate because people see him as nothing more than just a screw up, or he makes things a lot worse, like accidentally creating a Shatterverse or trusting Nine. But I'll get into these points during this video. Alright, so for me, when I dogpile a character, I do it whenever it's kind of like warranted, or like it's kind of warranted in advance when shit hits the fan, or they most likely expected this outcome if they just kept at it. Like for example, the movie Wish, right? Even though I haven't seen the movie yet, I've seen clips and whatnot where the main character kind of goes behind the king's back to kind of grant everyone's wishes and stuff, even though or ignores the fact that the king doesn't choose to make every wish come true within his ability for a reason. But with Prime Sonic, he was kind of a little ignorant about that during his battle with Dr. Eggman. And destroying the Prism Stones would affect the entire universe. So I don't really like blame him entirely in terms of like, oh, he should be mocked, shamed, or whatever for it or whatever. Nah. So of course he is guilty by Shadow for this. He receives ramifications by endlessly fighting the Chaos Council and trying to undo his mistake. He does this by working with Nine, who is a variation of his best friend, his adopted brother, Tails, and has proven to have the technology to help him. Which a lot of people do claim that it's Sonic's fault for trusting Nine in the first place, even though he was helping him progress to fixing his world. It actually came pretty close too. So for me, I don't have any major gripes with Prime Sonic, and he is different from other versions of Sonic who are less talkative and more laid back in a sense, I just don't think that he's as bad as everyone claims that he is, and I want to see more of like enjoyment from his character where he can have fun and stuff rather than feel bad for himself or guilty or beat himself up because he did something, wrong or whatever, you know what I mean? That's what I kind of want to see from Sonic. Hopefully season 3 doesn't just, change, like I hope season 3 doesn't change my entire outlook about his character and starts to kind of pull some big wins and stuff for once, like he definitely gets a win and whatnot and everything, I do hope that can happen. Sonic Prime currently is like, I would say my second to maybe third favorite Sonic cartoon at the moment. I mean, Sonic X to me is still at the top, but again, Sonic Prime still has the potential to become better, but that's just me. So for the hate that IDW Sonic gets, it's mostly comes full circle back to Sonic and Shadow's moral debate with sparing Eggman and his qualms against killing. Is this new for Sonic's characterization to take a stance against killing because he's a hero? Yes. Is it completely 180 from Sonic's character in general? No. But that just highlights the difference between Sonic and Shadow, since Shadow would do the things that Sonic wouldn't do as an anti-hero. I've talked about this before on the channel. Some people also try to say that Sonic was out of pocket for just bringing up Shadow's past to kind of prove a point, even though he was kind of saying it to kind of so pretty much, that if Shadow should be given a chance to do some good, then why not Eggman as Mr. Tinkerer, basically. Then there's certain things like letting Metal Sonic go after, letting Metal Sonic go after deactivating his weapons and stuff, and getting heated when he pretty much chose to go back to Eggman as his lackey after thinking he was kind of gone for good at that point. The way that I see it, Eggman, Starline, and Metal Sonic are all accountable for their actions and stuff for exposing everyone to the Metal Virus. And if you think about Sonic is responsible for enabling him, I mean, remember, even if you do think that he is responsible for enabling this kind of behavior, Sonic did pay, he did get ramifications and stuff like this too. He got called out, he had to endure the infection for the longest with no rest, no contact, and was almost physically and mentally broken. And of course, thanks to the teaming up with Eggman, Starline, and Metal Sonic, the guys that kind of got them in this situation in the first place, they were pretty much able to undo it thanks to Super Sonic and Super Silver, who were able to use the Warp Topaz to kind of send the Metal Virus to a different dimension. Then there's the time where people kind of made a big deal because Sonic showed no remorse to Dr. Starline's death, the infamous Big Oof and stuff. From how I interpret it, Sonic didn't believe that Starline was truly gone since he didn't witness it and has been nothing but trouble. Yeah, so when I first saw read this comic, I actually thought, oh, maybe Starline might have gotten away or he survived, typical supervillain kind of fashion. No, he died in that incident, but it can probably easily be, Ian Flynn can easily just go back, or Evan Stanley, they can easily just go back and just say Starline, oh, he survived or whatever, some kind of way, or he got brought back to life. But regardless, though, yeah. But anyways, but Starline has been nothing but trouble for him, so I don't blame Sonic for not feeling any remorse just because he's the hero. I mean, Starline's done things like assist Dr. Eggman, almost killed him and Silver, kidnapped Tails, Rouge, Belle, and kind of abused and experimented on Surgeon Kid through. Through all of that, And a little unrelated note, but I know I've said this before, but I would definitely love to see Starline back as a villain. He's definitely a cool villain. Then there's the speech that he kind of gave, that Sonic had gave to Surge about wanting to start over and just be friends. And people took away from that was that Sonic is lecturing Surge on why he doesn't fight her to the death, or how him being sympathetic to what she's or him being less sympathetic to what she's been through, even though they just met and Sonic didn't know Surge's whole story. He didn't know Kid's story either. He was oh, okay. But anyways, so now people kind of want to say aha, Surge is now using Sonic's own logic against him, basically, that kind of thing. And she is, but maybe this is way Surge and Kid can get a better understanding of him and be taken care of more properly and stuff, since they kind of lack a lot of stuff like food and water and all that stuff. So this way they can kind of be taken care of properly, even though it's pretty obvious that they're faking them out because they're working for Clutch, if you ever read the recent comic and stuff. And it's not just Sonic, but even a new character like Lionel Lang can be on thin ice just be on thin ice in an instant. Back in Urban Warfare, I was a little skeptical myself of Lionel Lang for debating against Sonic between reporting back to the Restoration or stopping the Citadel on the spot. But I see that they're trying to go for a more rational take with her character, which I'm not against. But anyways, most people do have a problem with her now, currently, for kicking Silver out of the Diamond Cutters and getting into a fight with Whisper over Duo, disguised as Mimic, which they don't officially know yet. But yeah, it's obviously, it's Mimic. But how I first read it, I kind of honestly thought that they were kind of faking it. Mainly because I thought, oh, okay, Whisper probably has a plan or something outside of just, tailing, Mimic and stuff. Yeah, I think, she might have let them in on it. But that's just my theory anyways. To kind of get the drop on him as he let his guard down. But apparently that's probably not the case. And if it's not the case, then this was probably for the sake of drama. I mean, I'm not in particularly against it either. And I know I'm acting a little passive about it. But to be honest with you, I'm not really against this if it's just meant to have drama amongst the diamond cutters and stuff either. Mainly because, I mean, I would prefer this to happen now while they're still like fresh and new as a team and they're starting to get to know each other better versus it happen like somewhere down the line when they're already established to be a team and they can't get it together. If you know what I mean, you know? So, stuff like that, that's like, you know, character development. But we'll have to see how that turns out. Anyways, keep in mind, I do like Silver and Whisper more than like Lin, but I'm not ready to just throw in the towel for a character yet, or like just especially over something like this. I'm just like, okay, she's just mistaken, it's an accident, or whatever. She's in the wrong, or whatever. If she's not pretending, then okay, she is in the wrong. She'll probably admit, like apologize to Silver and Whisper later or something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. But I wouldn't make it a big deal, you know. Or just be like, oh man, I can't stand Lin now. She's a terrible character and I don't want to ever see her again. Makes no sense why she's the leader of the Diamond Cutters. Blah blah blah. You know, I'm not gonna just jump to that conclusion right away. At least not yet. But Lin, she seems decent so far. Anyways, personally myself, I do think that some people let small things kind of get to them. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, sometimes that might even apply to myself because sometimes even small things can get to me. I think that the hate that IDW and Prime Sonic gets is kind of unnecessary as well, since I do like their characters. And I see that the writers wanted to give like a more characterization or more of a character arc for Sonic, since he doesn't have like one in the game that's like in the games that like kind of stand out, you know. So I guess people can't claim Sonic is boring all of a sudden now. Am I right? Anyways, that's the end of my video here. I just wanted to talk about that real quick and stuff, you know, just the unnecessary hate that IDW and Prime Sonic gets, in my opinion, and how people always just find things that are problematic about it versus just enjoy it for what it is. And if you don't like it, I mean, that's cool too. Not everyone has to like everything and stuff. There are certain things that I like from the Sonic series, like certain games that not everyone likes, and then there's certain games that I don't really like that everyone else likes. Like, it is what it is. But anyways, but yeah, this is the Joning level Fox and stuff. The next time I'll probably do a Sonic video, I'll probably talk about the mandates, because I actually have a special video planned for that as to why I think the mandates have actually done more good than harm. But I'll definitely cover that in that video, so you'll definitely see. So I hope you guys look forward to that. Anyways, this is the Joning level Fox, or the keenest Fox, and I'm out. Peace, and until we meet again.